Hi folks, it's Gary here with your Blue Nose Bulletin here on the 4th Officials YouTube channel for Wednesday the 12th of June. Very warm welcome and thanks for joining us once again here on our channel. On today's show, big news regarding Aberdeen midfielder Connor Barron, further transfer news with regards to incomings and outgoings at Rangers, and links regarding the Bristol City striker Tommy Conway. But first of all, over to that breaking news this morning regarding Aberdeen's Connor Barron. Now, various media outlets, including the Daily Record and The Sun, reporting that Aberdeen midfielder Connor Barron is in line to a potential move to Rangers. Now, it's long held that Connor Barron has been a player of interest for many teams, given that he is currently out of contract. Cagliari in Italy very much were seen as a potential destination for Barron, following the same path that Lewis Ferguson did last summer when he moved from Aberdeen to Bologna. But reports this morning stating that Rangers are very much now in the box seat when it comes to Connor Barron, and conflicting reports regarding a 4 or 5 year contract that may well be on the table for Connor Barron in the region of around about £9,000 to £10,000 per week. Now, Connor Barron currently on holiday in Portugal, but those reports from those media outlets suggesting that he may well cut that holiday short to return back to Scotland to carry out a medical with Rangers before the end of the week. Now, people will know that having lost Ryan Jack and John Lundstrom in the summer, the centre of midfield is very much a position that Rangers absolutely need to get bodies in. And with Ryan Jack having moved on, getting another Scottish body in the squad will certainly be helpful. Now, Connor Barron is very, very highly rated. He had an excellent end to the season under Peter Leven at Aberdeen after Neil Warnock had left that temporary charge up at Aberdeen. It wasn't a side that did terribly well last year, but Barron certainly stood out as a player who does have a very high ceiling. And I think for me, if we were to get that deal done, then that would be very exciting and someone who could certainly come in and almost immediately command a place in the first team. Some of the other players that Rangers have been linked with, particularly this week, look like kind of project players, and whether or not they're ready to start in the first 11 remains to be seen. The likes of Clinton and Shala, who was announced on Monday night, someone who I think very much for the future but could play at the moment. Yusuf Kabadai very much looks as if he'll be a Rangers player before the end of the week. Talks ongoing regarding the Penarol midfielder Damian Garcia, another midfielder out of contract in December. And talks ongoing at the moment to see if Rangers can get a deal done for Garcia. And then the final one that we are hearing, still in talks with, of course, is Albion Rahmani, the Rapid Bucharest striker. A fee in the region of around about €4 to €6 million is being touted for Rahmani. So that would be a fairly hefty investment to bring him in, but certainly towards the end of last year, with only Cyril Dessers available up top, certainly a second striker would have been massively beneficial for Rangers as they chased down some silverware. Another player who has been linked with both Rangers and Celtic in the media over the course of the last 24 hours is recent Scotland squad ID Tommy Conway, who will be out of contract with his current club, Bristol City, at the end of next season. Now, it looks like Conway is not going to be signing a new deal with Bristol City, and Wolves certainly have been accredited with an interest in him now. I think Bristol would certainly be looking to sell him now at the top of his availability. I think Rangers and Celtic both keen to see him run his final year of his deal down and try and bring up on freedom of contract. At that point, he would only be due a development fee to Bristol City, something in the line of around £200,000-300,000, similar to the fees that we've seen paid in the past for the likes of Joe Aribo, Calvin Bassey, etc. So I don't expect Rangers to go in with a bid for Tommy Conway this summer, but that's one to watch. If he doesn't move in this window, it could well be one that Rangers look to go in again for in the future. Of course, Conway in Germany just now with the Scotland national side, and that's one that certainly appears to be on the up in terms of his career trajectory. Just depends whether or not he will remain at Bristol City in this window for a deal to be done. After Rangers look to bring in these players this week, which we have just spoken about, moves will then start going towards trying to get players out the door the other way. We spoke earlier this week regarding interest in Tom Lawrence from Besiktas in Turkey, but also from a couple of English clubs as well. Ipswich Town and Sheffield United accredited an interest in Tom Lawrence. Now, it's my understanding that Tom Lawrence has been told that he is free to leave Rangers and find himself a new club. So just watching this space to see what happens with regards to Tom Lawrence. Also, interest remains in both James Tavernier and Connor Goldson from clubs in Saudi Arabia. Reports from Saudi yesterday suggesting that the Steven Gerrard-led Al Ettifaq club believe that both players will be available for Rangers for what is deemed to be a reasonable price. And it's my sources are telling me that I'm expecting bids to arrive for both Tavernier and Goldson over the coming days. Now it'll be up to the players to decide whether or not they want to make that move at this time, but certainly it looks as if there could well be a deal to be done for both of those players. And then it just is a waiting game to see about what other interest is done for players going out the way. Certainly expected that Sam Lammers will be moving on, both Utrecht and 20 Enschede, very much linked with Lammers, so that's a deal I expect to be done. And also interest in the likes of Yanis Hadji, maybe Ben Davies. So lots of work to be done in terms of outgoings. One player, though, I am hearing is not for sale is Ridvan Yilmaz. Philippe Clement certainly appears to be wanting him to be his first choice at left back for next season. Obviously, Hefty has already came in and he will challenge Yilmaz for that position, obviously with Borna Barisic having moved out the door. But I think it would require a very big bid for Ridvan Yilmaz to make Rangers want to deal. So we'll watch that with great interest. That will do us for this episode of the Blue Nose Bulletin. Loads to come on the Fourth Official over the coming days, including tonight. We've got a very special pod dropping with the author of a brand new book, celebrating the wonderful world of Subbuteo. It's called Land of the Giants. So looking forward to bringing that interview for you on our Patreon channel later on tonight. And then on Friday, we've got full match coverage of Scotland versus Germany in the Euros. Don't forget to get your Draft Sevens teams in. Pop your comments on the comments thread, both on Patreon or here on our YouTube channel if you want to get involved on that one. I'll speak to you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.